shit at the pilot.
He stepped up his head.
Niggas be broken, be sober, but still talking shit like
And he
that.
fumbles the football and the
They say that
Eagles
they
have
got
it.
some money, these niggas gon' say that they got it.
Oh my God.
Get out
Deep
with the
to
key to
right
success,
field.
and these niggas gon' blame it on talent. They don't wanna see you win. They don't wanna see the race. You don't wanna see a bitch caught up in the stars like she out of space. Mention that they kinda at the mention and I'm running out of space.
Okay. Welcome to another episode of the City of Brotherly Love Sportscast. We are your co-hosts, Dylan and Blake. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, so you never miss an episode ever again. Real quick, we just want to hit that shout out like we always do. Shout out Heart of Philly. Hit them up. We got the shirts made. We're still trying week by week to see if we want to, keep getting that going, see if anybody's interested, if they want any. So just, hit us up. We got a good amount to talk about today, a little bit from each team. We got this nice little cool segment that we're adding to the end. It's like the hot take of the week from each of us, one from each of us. So let us know if you guys think that's a good segment. Maybe a different kind of segment that we can include, but this is something that we think would be pretty funny. We can call people out each week, let them know when they fuck up. So so this week I think the biggest so what would be the Eagles coaching search, and then where's this JT contract coming. So those are going to be the first two things we talk about. So if you want to start, where are you sitting at right now for the Eagles candidacy issues right now?
So I didn't know he was an option because me and Dill, we went over our four main coaches. We did three, but added the fourth in there. But I was texting people actually last week. It was like CJ and my boy Jim, and I was like, I was like, why isn't anybody kicking the tires on McDaniels? I know he backed out of that job 2 years ago, so I'm thinking this dude's kind of always out there and about, in interviews. And next thing you know, hey, the Eagles hit him up. A lot of people ain't about it. I'm totally about it. I think it would be a great hire. I think he's learned from his mistakes in Denver. I think he had a second Spygate scandal out there, so that was part of the reason they literally had to carry him and escort him out with security because of that.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't even know that shit. I was like, and I get there's been some history there with New England, and yeah, he's coached Tom Brady, so that offense always looked good, but he's a very smart mind. He's creative. Even the year he had fucking Matt Castle, Brady was down, they balled. They were ranked the 7th overall offense or something like that.
Yeah.
When he was with the Rams and he was a coordinator, wasn't good. But he had Sam Bradford. That dude's dookie. And then it was his fault, but he took Tebow, and everybody learns. Everybody makes bad draft picks. You know what I mean? Tebow was a winner, though, so he was winning games with Tebow. Tebow just couldn't throw the ball. But
yeah, Tebow was performing.
I think he's the top of my list right now, and I still like Joe Brady. He's out there. We pretty much have a pick at anybody. They're doing their due diligence. They're interviewing literally everybody. I'm not mad about it, but because at the same time, when they hired Reed back in the day, everybody was like, who the fuck is this guy? And next thing you know, look how good Andy Reid turned out to be. So I'm not going to be mad. I'm going to give anybody a shot. I just don't want Deuce Staley as the head coach.
No.
A lot of people do. The players are sitting there texting Lori about it, advocating for it. I'm not for that. I want McDaniels or since we're kind of in a mini rebuild, now's the time to take a flyer on a guy like Joe Brady.
Yeah. So the advocating for Deuce Staley, I understand, because that's going to happen. That's going to happen every time when you lose a thing, because the people advocating for him are dudes that aren't even here anymore, like Kenyon Barner, Malcolm Jenkins, and then obviously Sanders and stuff. They're going to, because that's the coach they're with every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're going to try and vouch for him. The thing I have with McDaniels is obviously he did have a shitty situation in Denver, but he went, I think he was 11-17 as a head coach. But he, like you said, he never really had a legit quarterback. He did what he did with Tebow, but I mean, Tebow was just, he's like a Manziel. It was a one-hit wonder type thing, and it just happened. Joe Brady, I'm all for, but it's kind of scary because he is only 31. I don't know if he would be the youngest head coach in the NFL, I think.
Yeah.
And then he's only been the offensive coordinator for one season. And we could talk about how he was the passing game coordinator and the wide receiver coach at LSU for that 2019 team, but that team was fucking stacked. You know what I mean?
It's stacked, but at the end of the day, someone has to call the plays. Someone has to make those weapons go because, you can go ahead and you can look at the Falcons when they had Shanahan. They had all those weapons. Offense was wild. I mean, they blew the Super Bowl, but offense was wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they lose Shanahan. That offense hasn't been the same since. And they added more weapons. They added Calvin Ridley. Their run game's not as good, but they had backs. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you have the weapons, and it's college, so college defenses are a little looser, but that offense was average, and like I don't know what they were average in college, but if I had to guess, because I don't even know what college is average, but it was probably like somewhere to 35 to 50. I know that's a wide margin, but
Yeah.
they were putting up crazy points.
I know. There's just something about it is I think he would be great. I think you're right. I think right now is the perfect time to start to hit a young head coach like that right now. You know what I mean?
And then it's not even like he's not like every other college coach. Like it was 2017-18 year. It was one of the years recently, 2017-18, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
He was the passing game coordinator under Sean Payton down in, and Sean Payton's a great mind. He's a great coach. So like you already got a year in the league. And then last year you had no CMC, and the offense was ranked like 23rd overall, but they had some trick plays. They had some nice plays, and Teddy Bridgewater's your QB.
They had the receivers.
Times. Yeah, two receivers almost had 1,000, or two receivers did have 1,000. I don't know what DJ Moore ended with. He probably was close to 1,000 too.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy, but he comes down as he's one of those coaches that they've been interviewing though too. So to me, I think if they end up with Joe Brady, that's Deuce Staley's best opportunity to be the offensive coordinator. Because from what I've been reading about all these people they're interviewing, most of the people say that they have their supporting cast that they want to bring with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's obviously you're going to get your head coach before you get an offensive coordinator and stuff. Like I know the big name that's popping up is Frank Reich's predecessor right now, Nick Sirianni. Apparently his like every other interview we've been reading about, his interview apparently went great, and he's a strong candidate now. But they put him in the top 3 with McDaniels and Brady now as the best opportunity to become our next head coach. And I mean, he's been the Colts offensive coordinator for I think it was 2 or 3 years now. But I mean, that whole team, anybody coming from the Colts, whether it's your offensive coordinator or defense coordinator, I don't really know what to say because their team was up and their team was down on both ends this season. So
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot. They've been interviewing everybody. Dennis Allen, which kind of shocked me a little bit, the Saints defensive coordinator.
Literally doing due diligence on everybody.
Yep. And it's kind of weird, but it's coming down to just let me fucking know already. But
yeah, I'm really high on McDaniels now.
Yeah.
I even went back. I exposed myself. I was looking at my receipts. I was like, damn, I used to say I hate this dude. I was like,
take the week.
I was like, I hate this dude. I was like, I don't think he's that good. I was like, man, what is fucking 2016, 2017 Blake saying? I was like, get the fuck out of here.
So we can, I guess this is like the perfect point to transfer to another team from Philadelphia, I guess. Because for the Eagles, we're kind of saying who, like what the fuck, what. And then now for the Phillies, we're still saying what, who, what are we going to do? When are we going to sign JT? That's the next step. I mean, like we said, they signed Archie Bradley to the 1-year, $6 million deal, which the bullpen's fine. Bullpen is already 10 times better than it was last year. But now you get to the point where they offer JT money. They offered him the 5-year, $100 million. So do you think do you think he wants more?
He probably does.
Yeah.
But he ain't getting more. Unless some team out there is out. I mean, someone made a good point the other day. They were like, well, no team's in on him. And he's like, well, what do you mean no team's in on him? You're calling him the best catcher in baseball. Are you not? Yeah, he's the best catcher. So every team's technically going to be in on him. You know what I mean? Because you're the best at your position. There's always like if there's a will, there's a way. It doesn't matter what, unless you're like probably the Dodgers or the Yanks, certain teams.
They come out of nowhere and they could just.
Yeah, those teams. But like pretty much every team's probably legitimately kicked the tires on it. Maybe not offered a contract, but reached out, see what he wants. And it's silent. I mean, we offered him that contract, 5 years, $100 million, 110 actually. The report came out today. I saw like John Heyman said it was $110 million. That's not bad, dude. Accept the offer, bro.
22, 21 or something a year.
You're not getting anything better. If you do, go take it. I think he's the type of dude that would at least come back to Philly though and be like, "Will you match it?"
Absolutely.
So hopefully, like, I think he signed. I'm hoping by the end of this week that contract is signed. Dude, he's like almost 30. I forget what he is. He's like right around 30. You're a catcher. Pretty sure he's already had like a decently major knee surgery already. So, sometimes catchers last a while. They try to move them to first sometimes here and there. So
Like Yachty and stuff.
yeah, I mean Yachty's lasted forever. He really hasn't ever had a major surgery.
And he's still a top 5 catcher.
Yeah, he's still amazing. So hopefully he signs the deal, get that done, and then let's worry about shortstop and worry about
Outfield.
Yeah, another outfielder.
Absolutely. I personally think they still need a pitcher. So, like you said, you were really big on Springer. I wish we could have even tried, but I knew they weren't even going to. But like even on MLB Network, Ken Rosenthal was on MLB Network yesterday, and he said all he said was, "It sure looks like he's coming back to Philly." That's all he said. He was like, because the other team that was interested in was the Blue Jays, and I think they were 1,000% in on Springer first before they were in on JT. But I don't know. I feel like the most he's going to get is going to be after seeing what LeMahieu got, which was a 6-year, $90 million. And I just don't. It's not coming from the catcher position. I can't see him getting much more than like 5-year, 110. I feel like that's what he's going to end up having to take.
Yeah, dude. Like just fucking accept the money. Because what did I could be wrong. What did Grandal sign?
I'm not sure. So I thought it was only like 75 mil or 80
It was
mil.
like 4 years, like 75 mil, and like people try to call Grandal the best catcher in baseball. Not even close. His pop time and his defense isn't nearly as good. His bat's good, but
it's not the same as catcher wise as like JT and like
best
Salvador
time.
Perez and
yeah. So he has to sign it. I think he will. I think maybe it gets done tomorrow, but hopefully it's done by the end of this weekend, and hopefully we know the Eagles coach by the end of this fucking weekend.
Yeah, I hope these question marks around these two teams is definitely exclamation points by the end of this week, because I'm getting fucking antsy, bro.
I'm getting antsy because I was like, you know what, I'm fine with them interviewing everybody for the Eagles, and like I'm fine with waiting for JT now because like over like the last 2 weeks, I'm like, yo, we're gonna get this dude back. I'm like really confident, but now I'm just like anxious. Like I need to know the next coach, and like I'm watching Josh McDaniels videos every day for the Eagles. I'm like, I fucking want this guy. I didn't watch any Joe Brady yet, but I'm high on Joe Brady too. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, JT's already my favorite player. I'm like, God, this dude needs to be back. This dude needs to be back, bro.
I know, and dude, that's what I'm saying. Like you were saying, he's the type of guy he wants to. He wants to come back. He became really good friends with Bryce, Reese. Like they were good. Like they're just, I don't know. We just end up. He's just one of those guys that I can't see. Like you said, he would at least let the Phillies match if somebody was to come out with it.
He would come back and ask them.
Absolutely. And then with the head coach, I mean, I'm so antsy because you find out who the head coach is, and then we can get more of a grasp on what player they're going to shoot for in the draft. Because say you end up with somebody like a Dennis Allen, he's probably going to entice to go more of like a Parsons or Surtain, you know what I mean? But if you get like a Todd Bowles, he's going to Devontae Smith.
Don't want
what you don't want, but I'm saying
if they take the right player, hey, but I don't want a Todd Bowles.
No, I don't either. There's
Allen.
No, but we'll see how it plays out. I just want to take a break from the topics to just go ahead and shout out another friend of ours. Call of Duty Warzone. He streams from Monday to Thursday. Hit him up. He's on the gram. He's on Facebook. He's on Twitter. Death by Bananas 3. His name's Derek Galvin. Hit him up. He supports this stream to the max, so we'll support him right back. You know what I'm saying? And we back. So going to so Flyers look hot, man. Game 3 was real ugly. Got real ugly just real fucking fast. But
brutal.
Game 1 and 2, I think we were able to talk about Game 1 last week. But Game 2 and Game 4 looked good again. Brian Elliott was fucking Stonewall yesterday.
I mean, I was listening to Flyers Daily Podcast today, and they do one like every day, especially when the season's right back intact. And Martinez is like mentioning, like he had Hazel on for like a brief minute. He's like, man, Moose, like how big he was yesterday for you guys, that's huge. And he was like, he hasn't played a game in the Wells since February of last year. And then he played one game for the round robin back in March.
Mm-hmm.
So that man hasn't seen any action. And he comes out. And the Flyers played good yesterday. There's no two ways about it to spin it, especially they dropped another 2 injuries yesterday. So
Myers was big.
Myers was a huge one. I didn't look at any reports today. I tried at one point. I didn't see anything, and I didn't get a Morgan Frost update either. So you lose your best prospect offensively, who's filling in, and they're carrying him. He's just the extra man, and he's filling in for injury. You lose him. I'm pretty sure you didn't lose him early. You lost, or no, did you lose him earlier? I'm trying to forget. Yeah, you lost him earlier, and then I think you lost Myers with like 6 minutes left in the one period.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, either way. And it's like, damn, dude. And then you got your goalie bails you out, and your team was still generating chances. You were rotating centers. Mostly he did put Giroux to center, but you had Lawton and Hazy taking a lot of the work, and they did a great job. And they killed a couple power plays. That was nice. And Brian Elliott made a bunch of fantastic saves. He really did. He did also bail you out and stand on his head, but at the same time, the team played really great. Like the team got dominated, and it was a very lackluster effort on what was the games Monday, Tuesday?
The first game against the Sabres, yeah.
6-1. And Hotttt played good. He even saved a lot of goals. It was just like that fourth goal. Yeah, like you said, they had to pull him. I was hoping
at that point.
I was hoping they didn't because we knew Elliott was going to play. But hey, maybe that little bit of time helped Elliott. You know,
helped him, yeah.
Saw a little bit of a period and a half, probably something like that, and for you to not play your first real game or start a game in over almost literally a year, and you come out and you have a 40-save shutout and help the boys get back on track, that was huge.
Yeah, it was literally January. I was saying, I think you said he had 41 saves or 40 saves or some shit.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. That's crazy. And some of the saves, he was making Carter Hart type saves out there, but like with his glove. That's crazy. Yeah. And like we said, because like the first 2 games, dude, this team looked all around like no holes.
Yeah.
No holes at all. And then game 3, there's every hole possible on the team.
And I'm just gonna keep
no, go ahead.
I'm just gonna keep buzzing about that Nolan Patrick line. He was originally with Voracek to start the year. I think
TK Lindblom now, right?
Yeah, TK. I think a lot of that was probably also because of injury too. Man, like 3 young studs on the same line, and Nolan he looked great. His 200-foot game looked great. He turned that puck over, the one that led to the first goal, but he comes back, makes up for it. That's the luxury of having guys who are two ways. He gets the puck to Lindblom, and Lindblom just sends a nice pass, and Konecny's there all alone, and bang, 5-hole, nice little move.
Yeah. TK looked good last year, but I think he looks better.
He looks great.
I think he's faster, I think, too. Yeah. And even, like, I think Lindblom came out today, but I think he literally pushed some today because it was after the game yesterday. He literally said, we love each other, like, off the ice, which causes us to love each other on the ice, and they just play so well. They just mesh so well together, the 3 of them, speaking specifically about Patrick and TK. Yeah. So, I mean, dude, this team's going to go as far as they fucking –
they're nasty. This Boston series is huge. I mean, Boston's missing their top player from last year in Pasta, and we're missing our best forward, and then we're missing one of our best defensemen, our second best defenseman, and we're missing the guy filling in. I don't know what the deal is, if they'll be playing and ready for the Boston game tomorrow, but that's a huge 2 games. Hopefully, I'm looking for a split, but I would like to win both, as everybody would. But
as always.
I'll take 3 points if we can even get that, split the series with them like that. And and the huge thing to talk about, I guess, before we bounce off the topic too, is, so I was talking to people, so they played like shit Monday, obviously we all know, like we already mentioned it. A huge thing with this team last year was that Flyers teams would not do in previous years is they would drop games and they wouldn't bounce back. No. Mm-hmm. AV, great coach, has his team ready, corrects things instantly, gets a way better effort out of his team like that, and like it's almost like you snap your finger and they're just right in the next game. Like even if they get a little bit of a slower start, they still just pick it up right away.
Yes.
That's what they did last night. I wasn't expecting a shutout, but hey, 3-0, generated their most shots on net all year so far. I mean, we're only 4 games in, and Brian Elliott, you get an amazing play out of him. It's crazy. So it was
he's playing like that. You end up with you're in the conversation for the top goalie duo in the NHL easily.
Oh yeah,
easily. I mean, he's been known to be that kind of goalie in the past, but he's starting to get older. So, but I mean, hey, when he's your goalie number 2 and he's balling out like that, there's no way you can fail.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that much. And I mean, so I think the Flyers and Sixers are both playing in. If I could be wrong, they're both playing in Boston this week. I believe the Sixers could be home. I think they're doing a home and home with Boston back to back.
Might be that. I don't know too much. I just knew they were playing Boston. I just don't know if they're doing that or what their deal is.
Yeah. So then I guess we can move on from that. And I think this is going to be our biggest topic of the week, which is the Sixers. So, I mean, since last week, it's the most minimal, but the most to talk about. So they've only played 1 game since our last podcast last week, which was a 104-106 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. And then they had the postponed game against the Thunder, and then they play tonight against Boston, which by the time you guys hear this, the game will completed. And, hey, who knows what the fuck's going to happen without Tatum and I guess now Seth Curry's still out. But that Memphis game, there was no Joel Embiid. There was no Seth Curry. It was really weird. Ja Morant was on a minutes restriction still. It was just a bunch of scrubs playing against each other, including Ben Simmons. So, like, what are you seeing from this team? So I know you're really against Ben in the way he's playing right now, but what besides Ben, maybe even including Ben, what are you seeing from this team that I don't know that you need to see better because they need to compete. They went from
just so my haters see, they're not really my haters, but the people that disagree with me, because you're not going to agree with everybody on every topic. I've been a Ben guy since day one. Look, this is the Adidas jersey from when he got drafted. I had his jersey before most people did. I love Ben Simmons. But, yeah, I'm frustrated, and I keep it real. So I'm going to talk about everything. So with Ben, my thing is people are like, well, he gets shooters in rhythm. I'm fine with these little 10, 10, and 10 triple-doubles. No. Bullshit. He gets paid $177 million a year. He gets paid the big bucks, and he doesn't fucking step up when needed. And it's as simple as that. The Memphis game, I'll get to everybody, but him specifically, like Shake was balling. I think Toby played all right.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, bro, like if he really just needs shooters around him consistently, and like, yeah, with Bede, okay, it might be the recipe to win, and I'll eat my words because you got Maxey. And Shake's averaging like 26 over his last 5 games.
It's crazy.
He's going off. He's earning that starting role. Like Danny's either going to the bench or maybe they start him and Seth comes off the bench, which I doubt. They'll probably always start Seth. But
they'll take Danny out probably.
I feel like you always need a little bit of defense though. So that's like Doc's decision. So yeah, you get the shooters in rhythm, and Ben is a great facilitator. My biggest worry is he still just doesn't shoot, and he's not aggressive. You saw it at the end of the game. And his turnovers are usually – he has stupid ones. Like, his basketball IQ, it could be way better. Like, he is not always turning the ball, but he has, like, the dumbest turnovers.
Like at the end of the game the other day.
But we get 2 possessions. We got 35 seconds left, and he just chucks it down the court. Like, that just goes to show you, like, there's no need to chuck that ball down the court. And I think it was 2 Danny Green in the corner.
Yeah, it was. He was trying to get he was trying to get an easy 3 out of it.
And that gets intercepted right away. You didn't need to do that, bro.
Yeah.
You had time on your side. And then they get the ball back, though. He runs down the court. And I'm pretty sure Grayson Allen's the only one standing in his way. I'm not saying he could have got to the cup that easy, like within the time frame, because I think there was like 3 seconds left. But, I mean, his basketball, gameplay, speed, and he just hands it off to Maxey. Maxey fires it up when he could have probably just took Allen one-on-one. We knew Ben wasn't going to do that. Unless it's like literally like 1 second left, he ain't throwing it up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where the frustration really comes in. And then he airballed, 2 shots? Airballed the one. That 3 was – I don't know if he felt the pressure like the Harden trade because he was really –
down to this is what we'll talk about later in my hot take.
But, dude, like, I'm not even, like, hating on him. I just think people just, like, they don't realize, like – because, like, let's just say this could happen with any team, but there's other teams where they have stars who can step up for them if a player goes down.
Mhm.
Like if Embiid goes down, it's a wrap. Obviously, the season's chalked. Like
I mean, that showed last season when Ben went down, though.
It
You
did.
know the
But
Boston series is completely different if Ben.
the team's more deep though, and Embiid did hoop, and Embiid gave you a lot, but Embiid didn't have anybody else to
No,
help
he
him.
couldn't do
He
anything.
didn't even have like a functional. He didn't even have like a functional Toby. If he had like this Toby maybe, and the Embiid that we're getting now,
Yeah,
and then these shooters, they probably win. But if Embiid goes down and you have these shooters in Toby and Ben, I don't think you win.
absolutely. And I mean, so for me, I don't have the same viewpoint on this as you do, because to me, I think Ben can succeed without shooting the ball, like not shooting the ball specifically because of the people that he has around him. So right now in the season, he's averaging like 12 and a half, 9 and 8, which the 9 and 8, great if you're a fucking point guard. If you're putting up 8 rebounds a game, fucking awesome as a point guard. The 12, I would like to see more at like 15. But for me, like, my biggest thing with him is these games that Joel's not playing, he is that second max contract guy. I guess you want to say second, third. Toby's technically on 1, 2. Like, you need to be able – that needs to be the game when Joel's not playing where you drop fucking – you need to be great, drop 30, 10, and 10. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be able to take the game over and be that fucking dude. You know what I mean? Like, you have to. Like, there's no choice. Like, when you can tell this team – almost every single one of their losses has come when Joel's not playing. Like, we understand Joel's obviously, he's easily, if you're going to put him in top 5 or top 10 most dominant players in the NBA, like when it comes to being able to stop him and stop him from scoring, he's one of those dudes where you're like, he's going to get his points no matter who you put on him. You know what I mean? So when you take him out of the game and you take that, there's nobody else you can put down on the block. Like, Dwight's good, but Dwight can't play the whole fucking game. And Vincent Poirier is not fucking dropping points on fucking AD, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so to me, that's my biggest thing with him is I think it's more about him when the other guys are out, like Joel, like, and then like when Seth's out, he thinks now he's kicking it out the dudes like fucking Shake and Danny, which recently Danny has been good, but he hasn't been as good as we've seen in the past. And Shake's been great, but it's not the same as ditching out to somebody that's shooting 45%. Or I think Seth's at like 60% from 3 this year or some crazy shit still, but he hasn't played. So I don't know. It's just, so I'm okay with him dropping like the 12, 9, and 8 in the regular games.
It's just, my thing is it's not acceptable because now everybody's settling for the 12. They weren't settling for that 12 previous years, but now they're like, this is what he is, and this is what he's gonna be. Like, they're like, I'll still hold out the hope, but it's not a lot of hope for me anymore because you see it with like a Jamal Murray gets better every year. You see it with a Devin Booker, they get better every year. You see it with Jason Tatum, he gets better every year. You see it with a Jaylen Brown now, getting better every year. Basketball players get better every year, especially like the top picks. You know what I mean? The only guy you might not say is like Lonzo, like really, like recently, you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck anyway? He's Ben, except Ben's just a bigger build.
Ben's just a better defender, really.
Yeah, literally. And this is my thing though. Like, people are settling for that. We shouldn't be settling for that. Like I said, he's not above criticism in his town. Like, people will talk about we coddle Carson. We coddle this dude, bro. Like, it's year 5, and he had a whole year. And you played basketball your whole life. If he's never shot his whole life, how's he going to shoot now? It's just never going to come into fruition unless his trades open his eyes, because the trade was there. Morey
he was there. He was ready to go.
Expected to be traded, and I'm not going to harp on it forever. I'm sitting here watching the Nets though, and we'll just mention Harden and. He's assisted and scored on like it was like the most
134 points.
And then I was like the first game. I mean, the Magic are all right this year. They're not great. They're just like a scrappy team. It was like all right, like it was the Magic the first game.
Yeah,
and he showed out.
But then
they played a Bucks and he showed out. I mean, KD's a freak, and him and KD just look like they got that chem. They still need a little more, but whatever. It is what it is. Just I'm not disagreeing with people that we can't win it all. If everybody stays healthy, it's a possibility. But I just want people to know, like, when playoffs come, it's a much slower game. Ben's specifically good in transition. He makes a few nice plays in the half court in regular games every now and then, but playoff basketball is a lot different. We saw it recently, and he needs to average more. I need like, just give me back your 18 or something then at least, dude. Like, you're not even hitting your free throws. Like, if he's hitting his free throws, I could probably live with what he's doing now. But he doesn't even do that. He's not even. What is his free throw percentage? It's under 6.
Yeah, it's bad this year. It's real bad.
Horrible, dude. Like,
Him and Giannis are like the worst free throw shooters I've ever seen in my life.
he's just never gonna shoot and score. Like, if you can't even knock like a free throw down at 70%, what makes you think this dude's gonna ever hit a mid range or a spot? He's not even aggressive. Like, it's just frustrating, dude. Like, I just keep it real. That's what it is now. I'm not saying he's not good. He's a great player. He's an elite defender. His he's not, but people are like, he's a top point guard. He's really effective on the floor. I'm arguing with people. There's been times where this dude's been subbed out this year and we keep beating on the floor and we brought in Maxey and we go on these big runs. But when Ben's on the floor, we ain't going on those big runs. You know what I mean?
Because, so my biggest thing is because, like, obviously, so I think his average points last year was like 16.3 or something, or 15.3, one of those two. I think my biggest thing now is I don't know if it's like the game plan. I don't like who fucking knows. Nobody actually knows. But he's finding himself driving to the middle of the lane and ditching it out every time. I don't know if he thinks in his head now that he has these more shooters that he's trying to stack on fucking 12 to 15 assists a game. Like, I don't know if it's in his head if he thinks, because we've seen it, dude. We've seen that he can be one of the most dominant people in the paint driving the ball. Like, you are fucking huge. You can be that dude that is unstoppable. If you know, he knows how to finish. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of the best finishers that we've seen. Yeah. And I just think sometimes he gets in his head where he knows, like, Seth's over here or Danny's over here. He thinks in my head, if I drive this deep, they're going to be open every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it works sometimes, and it works a good amount of the time. You know what I mean? They usually get an open 3 or something like that, but that's not what we want to see. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what most Sixers fans want to see. I get it. I understand. And I would love to just see what he sees in his head or think what he was actually thinking. Like, what does he want to shoot? Or is he literally sitting there saying, fuck that, I got my money, I ain't fucking shooting the ball. You know what I mean?
And then,
I would love to know.
Yeah. And then, like I said, we win the finals. Hey, we end up getting to the finals. But say if he was a reason we lost the finals, then you can't come at me. But if we win the finals, get there and just lose a tough series and it's not his fault, pull up the archives. Come at me. I don't care. I'm not saying I don't hate the guy. I literally genuinely love the guy and want him to succeed. I want all our stars to succeed in this town. That's the type of guy I am. I don't give a – you hate on my guy, I usually defend my guy. Yeah, I'm going to give Ben shit, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? My thing is, though, people are like, what don't they see? Because I used to be like one of those people, I just defend him the first couple of years. Why send you that video? Well, it was like a counter to someone, though, in my opinion, because the one dude's like, people really don't realize what he does. He's like driving the ball, and he pulls like 2 defenders in while he's driving, and then he kicks it out. That doesn't happen all the time. That's not happening in every possession. It might happen once or twice a year, and he has shooters that are going to knock him down now, especially in Danny Green, who's been really hot lately, hitting 3. He's always usually inconsistent, gets in a hot streak. And you have Seth, who has the highest 3-point percentage in the league right now, like 59%. Crazy. I know he's missed the last couple, but still, that's wild. And he's going to stay up high. Not that high, but he's going to stay up probably.
Yeah.
He's going to stay up high. But it's just like he's not always doing that, because you can show me that one highlight, but I can show you like 3 or 4 highlights a game where this man's driving. Hell, I'm going to look for it tonight. And maybe I just won't see it tonight. Watch, it'll be my luck. But he stops, and like I said it last week, he's wasting 6 seconds on the shot clock by kicking it out to someone. Like, you can't be doing that. And he has a Sam Cassell's helping him as this isn't good. You have a Doc Rivers and people. And, yeah, we're 7-0 with the starting lineup. It's crazy. I love it. The only good game we had or remote competition we've realistically really had, like top of the line where there's been close games, is the Toronto game. And if B didn't come back, we were losing that game. Mm-hmm. And that was when Toronto was struggling. They couldn't buy a win. And
they were like 2-8 at some point or some shit.
Dude, who even fucking knows? But they didn't. I don't even think they had a win at that point, or had one win. And maybe they were hungry too, but they're still scrappy. And if B doesn't come back in that game, we don't win that game. You know what I mean? And that was our toughest competition so far. The Heat games I can't go into yet because yeah, we were missing starters, still beat them both times. So I still think we beat them even if we add the 2 starters and they add Bam
I think so too, yeah.
and they add Butler back. We're better than them. But, like, Duncan Robinson and Tyler Herro were making it close to that overtime game.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild.
It was a Joel takeover. That's all it was.
So, I mean, it's possible that they get a Bam and Butler back and we get our Shake back and we get whoever back and they still could beat us or make it a series if we were to play them in playoffs. But it is what it is. I do love Ben. There's people out there that'll laugh at my shit when I say whatever. There's people who will agree. You know, there's always going to be difference of opinion. I hope I'm wrong. I do. I genuinely, in my heart, hope I'm wrong. But I'm over this.
Too.
And I don't know if he's going to get traded this year. But I think it's still a very strong possibility. There's a big trade out there. Morey's pursuing it, whether it's a Levine type, whether it's a fucking –
something's going to happen.
And I'm not saying Ben's gone, but it's a very real possibility he's gone if he was already – they were already going to move him once.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you know who I would like to see, though? Let's just throw it out there. Wish list. He'll never leave. He'll never be traded. Ben for Dame Lillard. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I knew you were going to say that.
Do it in a heartbeat.
It's Dame time, baby.
It would
I would
never
do it in a fucking second.
It would never happen. You probably have to give up more, but I'd give up more.
Mm-hmm.
I would give up those 4 first-round swaps for a Dame Lillard right now.
Dame and Joel right next to each other.
And you got your last second shooter. There's no doubles there. Come on, boy. That would be.
It's crazy to think in my head because I think somebody like Ben and CJ would probably flow good together too, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'd take a CJ too if they keep Ben somehow and get CJ.
Mm.
But if they had Dame here, that shit would make me horny as hell.
Yeah, dude. This and what the season's already showing me from every team in the East is that they've all shown weakness at some point in this fucking season. Like the Bucks started off fucking terrible. The Celtics, they show every game how small they are. They cannot, like, teams are out rebounding them on offensive and defensive boards like crazy. Like the Heat, they're 4-7 or 5-7 to start the season. Like the Nets, obviously they haven't shown us weakness yet with Harden, but I think tonight Kyrie comes back, so we'll really see how they flow. So this is really these games that you have to win those easy games. Like you have to win those games. If teams below 500, you can't lose any of those, whether Joel's out or Joel's in. You have to win those games because it's important because you need that top 4 seed.
Yeah,
it's necessary. Even top 2.
And that's what pisses me off about Ben. Sorry to cut you off. Like if Joe's going to need his rest, and people get mad at Joe for that.
He can't play back-to-backs.
Well, he can sometimes. I mean, that's my worry about playoffs, though. But he's done it in the playoffs so far.
Yeah.
It's not back-to-back, but he's playing every game, and you need a break. They're hard games. They're competitive, but it's like the seeding really does matter. Who you're going to play dictate. So basketball playoffs is what it is. Your stars take you to your finals, but the seeding overall matters, especially when you're going to be playing competition because you want the easier path. And then when you play the tough competition, you deal with it then. And Ben just doesn't step up when we need those wins. That's what pisses me off too. Like, yeah, he can be effective when Joel's out there, and that's all good and sunshine and important. But you lose Joel, this team could still be effective if Ben would just give you a 20, 10 and 10. It would.
Absolutely.
If you lost Joel and Ben gave you that, this team would still be effective. I'm not saying they would go far in playoffs, but they could still win you a series.
They would win those games, yeah.
You could make a second series competitive. So that way, but that's my thing with him. He's not that guy. He just isn't. Hopefully it changes.
I think it's different this year because you're getting that Toby finally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying.
Getting that Toby.
He gives you a 20 where it goes off on those games when Bede's out. It's a wrap.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's my take.
Like I said, those are the games he needs to take over. Now I'm fucking pumped, dude. I'm ready. This is our new segment of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Hot take. This is something new we're adding. I hope you guys fucking like it. We're kind of going to be searching throughout the week, catching that one take somebody, one of the top broadcasters in Philly, they say how fucking stupid they are, how fucking dumb, going to call their dumbasses out. Mine kind of stays on the topic that we were just talking about. So I'll go first real quick. I don't actually know what Blake's hot take is, but I'll go. So my biggest thing is we talked about it. So I'm calling out Howard Eskin real quick this week. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you've seen what I said because I quoted his tweet and everything. He attempted 2 3-pointers against the Grizzlies, and one was a fucking hit the bottom of the fucking backboard or some shit. crazy. And Howard Eskin tweeted, he posted the picture and posted the video of it, and he tweeted and he said, "How is this possible for an NBA player to miss a three this bad?" So I'm going to call his ass out because he's the same dude that tweets every single week, when is Ben Simmons going to shoot a three-pointer? You know what I mean? Like, blah, blah, blah. When's he going to shoot? And now he's finally shooting it, and you're going to call him out because he airballed. But you're same people saying, all I want to do is see him shoot the ball. You know what I mean? So to me, like I tweeted, I said he's damned if he does, he's damned if he don't. He's at the point where if he makes a three, he's going to be criticized. And it's not just Howard Eskin. You know, maybe one day you'll hear me fucking talking shit, but I fucking hate his takes all the time, not just this one. But he's getting to the point where even if he used to come out and make a three, he's getting criticized because he's getting to the point where, say he makes a three, but he shoots four. He goes 1 for 4. He's going to get criticized. Damn, you're only shooting 25% from three. You fucking suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it to himself, obviously. But to me,
he could take
at
25
that point.
shots. And you could miss all 25. I'm not going to be mad because he's shooting the ball. I'd probably be mad if he missed all 25.
Yeah.
you get like 8 for 25, you'll make me happy, kid.
Absolutely. But I'm saying he's at that point where he's damned if he does and he's damned if he don't.
It's impatience and growth. But, yeah, if you're, like, tweeting, like, shoot the three, and then he finally shoots it and you're mad. I mean, I'm pissed about the air ball, too. That shit just looked – no confidence was all. It just floated there. It was like Rookie of the Year, the end of Rookie of the Year when Rowan Gardner – it's the ball. That's what it looked like to me. He just shot it and it's floating, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, whoa, that was bad. I was like, I'm not gonna judge it. I'm here to judge it. I was like, I'm not gonna give a comment on that this week. I'm gonna let the Ben fans, all my legitimate crazy Ben lovers, chill this week.
You just got, man. He's just let the man live. He's not going to shoot him if people are hitting him up saying he fucking sucks either way. You know what I mean? So that's my hot take of the week.
My hot take actually came out today. So I'm listening to 97.5 in the mornings. Due to the producer, Pat Egan. I like a lot of stuff he says sometimes. Sometimes he gets a little crazy. He's like a 50-50 guy for me. He has a lot of takes. Some are bad, some are good. Well, seeing him, he tweets. And he tweets about how Josh McDaniels had a former MVP in Cam Newton, and if he couldn't fix his career, how's he going to fix Carson Wentz? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and he's like grinding Josh McDaniels up. Like, let me see exactly what he said. Like, I screenshot it right before we got on here, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He goes, so Josh McDaniels had a former MVP last season at QB and wasn't able to resurrect him at all. He said, and Jeffrey really thinks he'll be able to do that exactly with Wentz. He showed you this year he couldn't do it. And he said, like, the Eagles just want a guy who's thirsty or run a team and not fight for power. And he said to him, honestly, the fact that he couldn't do anything with a former MVP is the most head-scratching thing of all, because this is the guy that convinced he could do it with Wentz. And he said, what the fuck does that make you think, to Jeffrey Lurie? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. This man's been a bum. He's been a bum. Mm-hmm. He's been a bum. He had his MVP year. He was good. I know people that love Cam. I know people that love his build. His accuracy's always been trash.
Terrible.
Mechanics has always been trash. I'm sitting here watching games when, like, Wentz has been bad and there's been play calls where he's missed reads. I was watching Patriots games this year where guys were wide open. There's the one that got him benched for Jarrett Stidham. Do you remember that play?
Yeah.
There was no – he could have either ran for 10 or hits the guy, and the guy has 10 yards to run, and he just misses him. Like, Wentz would have hit that throw. Like, Ben DiNucci would have hit that throw. This dude was bad this year. Yeah, the Nooch would have hit that throw. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, Wentz is younger. Wentz has had a few injuries, but he showed he's still mobile, shows he can still sling it, shows he can make those crazy plays. Cam Newton's not shown he can make them crazy plays. Cam Newton's this guy who runs for 10 touchdowns, makes a few nice throws here and there. He didn't have a lot of weapons this year, but here's my outlook. Who has Wentz always specifically liked to throw the ball to? Zach Ertz, tight end.
Oh,
right?
yeah, tight end valuable. Yeah.
We're not a real run heavy team, obviously. And who else does he always like to throw? Slot receivers.
Greg Ward.
Jordan Matthews was here. He loved to feed Jordan Matthews. It was one of his best friends. He hit outside receivers here and there. He can make those throws, but his bread and butter tight end, slot receivers.
The inside of the field.
What is Josh McDaniels' offense based around? Slot receiver play. Wes Welker, Julian Edelman,
Then he had at the times of Gronk and fucking.
and then you have Gronk,
Aaron Hernandez.
He gets his running backs involved in crazy shit.
And they've never had a stud running back.
And yeah. So his play calling, he gets creative with it. And you know what? I think he's learned is Doug's that type of guy where he call play, they ain't going back to that play again. I'm watching the video. They're like, well, this will make you think. And I know the offense wasn't impressive. That Super Bowl 53, the Rams, Pats, when scoreless, dude. It was low scoring as fuck, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it the third or fourth? I think it's the end of the third, going into the fourth quarter. They're driving.
Probably one of the worst Super Bowls
They're just
I've ever
thinking,
watched.
yeah, they're just thinking like shit. Like Josh McDaniels is saying in his head, like, there's a video I'll send to you. Like, all we need is one drive. All we need. That's all we're thinking is get one drive. Hey, that touchdown might win us the game, which it did. And they're lining up. I forget the set they're running. They got I think Gronk like running downstream, running like just streaking. They got this guy curling, this guy coming out. Bang, hits a play, 20 yards, hits another play. And then they ran the same play like 4 times. They mixed it all up, though. Yeah. It's like we don't do that.
You have
like,
options.
Why? Like, why? And this guy comes in here. I get the growing concerns with Bill Belichick assistants, but a lot of people – I love Brian Double.
But he doesn't want to come here anymore.
He's not even interested. He was a Patriots assistant, and people are like fantasizing about this dude, and I get it. He's shown what he did with Josh Allen this year, but they also got weapons. So you got to take that into consideration. You bring a guy here. I'm all for Brian Double. He's one of my top guys. We're not getting him.
Need the weapons.
Josh McDaniels, he also drafted Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker. I'm not saying he had a great draft history, but he found some weapons. Howie, when's the last time Howie hit on a pick? Demaryius Thomas, great career. Eric Decker, pretty good career. And those are 2 key pieces in all those runs those Broncos teams had in Super Bowl runs and whatnot. So for Pat Egan to say some dumb shit like that, you're smoking rocks, kid. I won't put down the crack pipe. I want what you're on because I think Wentz has a guy like that who holds you accountable and will get in your ear. And first of all, Cam Newton's career completion percentage is booty cheeks. He's not an accurate QB, never been. And this guy's scheming, even with the dookie weapons he had around him, this guy's scheming receivers and getting them open and shit. And you can't fucking hit the backside of a barn. Get the fuck out of here with that take. Wentz is good, and Wentz will be good under Josh McDaniels. So,
and that's our hot takes of the week. But, all right, dude, let's fucking hit him with something happy, though. So, COVID restrictions here in Philly are starting to, piece by piece, kind of unravel, become more lenient, let us do a little more. I know you're outside of Philly, but inside Philly, man, we're still starting to be able to eat inside now. But I want to know, man, what are you, Blake, specifically, and all your viewers, please let us know, man. What are you guys excited for when these restrictions go? What are you pumped for with Philly sports, man?
So I'm not going to go into like a big rant like usual, but no, it was yesterday. So my boy Squally, he's a big basketball guy. Hopefully we get to having guests on soon. And I go to games with him. He's always, I say he breaks shit down for me. Well, we go to the OKC game with Paul George, and we go to watch Russell Westbrook, 2 crazy players. You got to see them live. You want to see players like that. That game was fucking crazy. I don't know if you remember. I just missed the Wells Fargo Center. I missed it for Flyers team specifically, but I was at that game, and I just remember having such a great day. Like, that just popped up in my phone memories yesterday. And Jimmy Butler picks off a pass. We're down like 4. Gets like a 3-point play, and then we tied it somehow else. I fucking there's like 10 seconds left, dude, and all this is happening, and I like jump up, dude. We're at the top, like nosebleeds. I smack my head on the ceiling hard as shit. I blacked out. I hit my head so hard, I probably had a concussion. My neck was sore for like 2 weeks. It was probably all fucked up. I didn't get it checked, nothing. I just like sucked it up. I literally blacked out there. Like, I jumped, smacked this ceiling. All you heard was boom. Like, even Pat and the guy next to us heard it. I leaned back on my feet. My legs are under me. Like, I got knocked out like a UFC fighter. Like, I like frog legs and shit. I fall into the dude next to me like this. I'm like, and Pat literally had to pick me to fuck back up and put me back on my feet. And, like, I just remember how great that day was. Like, we lost off a buzzer beater by Paul George, but it was one of the best game experiences of my life. Like, that moment just being so hype. I mean, I'm extra, but just being with a crowd of people, I miss that. Of course, I miss having a beer. I just missed the whole going to the game. I fucking killed to sit in, like, some 2-hour traffic leaving the stadium right now.
Absolutely.
Like, I kill for that feeling.
Absolutely.
I hate it, but I kill for it.
Absolutely. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I wasn't even at – we always talk about this one player. I wasn't even at the Bryce Harper Grand Slam game. I was in Japan when this happened. And, like, but we watch the video all the time, and seeing those fucking fans after the Grand Slam, the whole fucking stadium, it's like a playoff fucking game because the whole stadium's going fucking crazy. Like, there's just something about being at a fucking baseball game or tailgating, dude. I will die to go just fucking tailgating right now inside the parking lots with hundreds and thousands of fucking people. Like, something being at any kind of sports game, Phillies and Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, like, whether you're outdoors or indoors, like, there's no difference. Any time of the year, cold, warm, like, having a fucking hot dog in one hand, a nice fucking wiener, and a fucking beer in the other hand, bro. Yeah. I miss that shit so fucking much. Like, going to the stadiums, going to the games, and then just being able to go to bars for the games, even if we're not at the games. Like, man, I'm fucking hyped. Like, that shit needs to come back. So, y'all people need to do what the fuck you gotta do so we can do this shit.
Yeah, we'll probably make a post. I'll make the post, whatever. I'm gonna try to be better with social media. We both need to be, but
yes, sir.
We'll ask you guys, get in on the feed fucking back, please.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we get a few comments. That's cool because we don't have a ton of followers yet still. So we need to get my laptop to do extra shit. But just make a post. Give us your feedback for something as simple as that. Like, not even like topics. Just like, what do you miss with Philly sports related? Like, what's the first thing you're gonna do? Is it gonna be like maybe you haven't seen your family? You're gonna go watch some games with your family. You're gonna go to the bar. I mean, sometimes we're still in the bars, but it still ain't the same. Like, we gotta like. Well, I'm not gonna blast anything. Don't want to play anything out there. It shouldn't be. But just go into the bars. Watching games. It's not the same. It's just not the same type of feel. Not being able to congregate all over, do your own thing. You just sit at a table, watch it. You're in a crowd with your people, but it just ain't the same. It really ain't. Like, tailgating, can't even do that. Like, Phillies tailgates are hella underrated, by the way, because even though the parking lot isn't as filled when we're bad, we're like not as good. Like that. Like, if they're good this year and get the playoffs, ticket sales will go right back up. But like the weather's so nice. Your favorite beer? I love to drink them personally at those tailgates too. Summer Shandies.
Oh, amazing.
Bust them out. Like wearing a Phillies jersey, just sitting there, like playing all type of drinking games or cornhole. Miss it, dude.
Miss it so much.
Hopefully it's back soon.
Yeah. So, like Blake said, let us know. And like always, hit up our, we like to call them our little sponsors. Hit up Heart of Philly on the T-shirts. Hit up Death by Bananas on Call of Duty. Hit the streams up. They're our biggest supporters, really. I mean, we love all you guys. Unless Blake's got anything.
Just with Heart of Philly, though, we never even said thank you to him again. He made the logo with us, like our cartoons on it. Shit's fire. I see a lot of people are like, that's fucking fire. Love it. Thank you, Shane, again for that. He's our boy. Love him to death. Death by Bananas, my guy D. Money, happy belated birthday once again.
Yes, sir.
These are sponsors. We're out.
Yep. Peace.